Have you heard of the ventral vagus nerve? No? Well, it is something you're going to want to know more about by the end of this video because it's a fantastic tool for reducing menopausal stress, improving mood and general well-being. And most of the tools for improving ventral vagus nerve tone are fun things to do. Last week in this video here, I talked about easy to implement tools for reducing menopausal stress, and this video we're building on that by looking at ventral vagus nerve tone. So if you didn't grab last week's video, make sure to go back and watch that after this one. And if we haven't met, hi, I'm Chelsea Green, holistic hormone specialist and huge fan of ventral vagus nerve toning because it's so easy to do, so simple to include in your daily routine. And as I said, most of the activities are fun. So the ventral vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body, connecting the brain with the gut, the heart, the lungs, and many other organs. And it's a key element in the parasympathetic rest and digest state, which is where in menopause we want to be hanging out. Typically, we're spending too much time in the fight or flight state, and this is where we experience menopausal stress, anxiety, depression, weight gain, bloating, joint pain, hot flashes, sleep issues, loss of motivation, overthinking, and loss of libido. And so we want to counter that by doing stress reduction activities, but also those activities that are going to help build stress resilience. And ventral vagus nerve toning does both of those things. With good vagus tone, we feel calmer, clearer, have better connections, better mood regulation, and better physical health. So the vagus nerve has two parts, the dorsal in the back and the ventral in the front. The dorsal is activated by danger, stress, by fear, and the vagus is activated by safety. And what we want is for the body to be able to very quickly and efficiently switch between the two. That is, once we've overcome the stress, we want to quickly be able to switch into that rest and digest state. The ability to move quickly between the two states indicates good stress resilience, and we can measure this by measuring our heart rate variability. And I talked about that in this video here, so do check that out if you're interested in how to measure your stress resilience. So having good stress resilience, that is good ventral vagus nerve tone, helps to remove menopause symptoms because we're spending more time in that rest and digest state. So how do we go about toning the nerve? Well, fortunately, there's lots of easy ways to do this and they're fun. First up is connection, laughter, and socializing. So here's your excuse to go out, meet with your friends, meet with your loved ones, socialize, have a good time, do some deep belly laughing because it is absolutely fundamental to your good health. Singing, gargling, chanting, humming, they all work to improve vagus nerve tone as well. So anything where we're vibrating through the vocal cords, or I like to think about it as opening up our throat chakra and speaking our truth. Breath work also helps to improve tone. We want to be doing deep belly breaths where that out breath is longer than the in breath. Cold water immersion is fantastic for vagus nerve tone, but you know what? I'm Australian living in the UK. I don't do cold water, but the way to get around it is doing alternating hot cold showers. It works just the same. Energetic movement practices like Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, they all help to improve tone, as too does meditation. Massage, both giving and receiving massage, and who doesn't love a massage? It helps to improve tone, but it also helps to promote our love hormone oxytocin, and oxytocin counters negative effects of stress. So double bang for your buck. And in terms of foods, omega-3 fatty acids and probiotics both will improve nerve tone. And the two final ways of improving nerve tone is what I do on a day-to-day basis. The first is using a device, so there's many devices that can help to improve nerve tone. I use a Sensate. I'm not an affiliate, I just really like the product. You simply lay down, you have this resting on your chest, so all it takes is 10 minutes a day. With that, it vibrates the nerve and helps to improve tone. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm using sound therapy, which also helps to improve tone. So the sound therapy that I recommend is Solfeggio Frequencies. They're based on Gregorian chants. It's several different chants, and it's the 5 to 8 hertz frequency that we're interested in. The 5 to 8 frequency is shown to reduce stress, to promote ventral vagus nerve tone, to promote healing within the body, and it's very calming and clearing. I actually love the Solfeggio frequency because it's a really simple tool. You can just have it on in the background while you go about your day-to-day business. You'll still receive the healing benefits of it, even if you're not really consciously tuning into it. So there's some great ways for you to improve your ventral vagus nerve tone and improve your menopause symptoms. But as an aside, another top tip for you. If you are struggling with weight gain, with sugar cravings, or cravings of junk food, or feeling hungry all the time, one of the brain's mechanisms for assessing hunger and satiety comes via the vagus nerve. And studies have found that damage to the vagus nerve or poor tone will stop this message of fullness getting through to the brain. And the nerve is also involved with sugar and junk food cravings. So just another reason to love love and actively engage in ventral vagus nerve toning activities every single day. So there we have it, just a really short video today to introduce you to the wonderful vagus nerve and all of its toning activities that will help your menopausal experience. I'd love to know in the comments below if you are going to try any of these ventral vagus nerve toning activities. And if you want some other ideas on how to boost your menopausal experience, grab my free download. The link is in the notes below. Thriving in the Menopause. It will build on everything that I've talked about here today, as well as everything that I talked about in last week's video. So make sure you grab that as well.